All right, Shelley, can you do roll call for us?
Yes, sir. Cody Poindexter,
Honey?
Sasha Black Fox Qualls, Danny Callison, Julia Coates,
Here.
Joe Deere, Mike Dobbins, Kevin Easley, Lisa Hall, Johnny Kidwell, Daryl Legg, Dora Petzkowski, Joshua Sam, Mike Shambaugh, Melvina Shotpouch, E.O. Smith, Kendessa Teehee, Kendra McGady. And would you like to become a member of this committee? We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Shelley. I need a motion and a second for approval of the minutes from our last meeting. All right, thank you all. And on to reports for cultural tourism is Molly Jarvis.
I am not Molly Jarvis. She's working at our CMB Culture Committee meetings today, so I'll be providing the update for you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for allowing us to join you today. Just want to give a couple highlights from the report. Want to continue to highlight the great work that's happening as a result of the Cherokee Artist Recovery Act. So to date, we have invested about $608,000 in the pockets directly with Cherokee artists. And we've had about 544 artists participating in programs. So that's pretty impactful because before the Artist Recovery Act, we had kind of Cherokee Nation had a working relationship with about just 250 artists. So you can see that has dramatically kind of increased Cherokee Nation's relationship with kind of doubled the amount of artists we're able to work with. A couple of projects I want to highlight. We are getting ready to bid out the restoration of the Will Rogers Birthplace home. So that's a historic home that was acquired just last year from the state of Oklahoma. So that project will start later this fall and hopefully wrap by sometime next summer. We have a couple new exhibitions that I want to highlight. The Harry Ossawy exhibit at Saline Courthouse. In November, we'll have a Troy Jackson pottery exhibition at the Cherokee Nation Anna Mitchell Cultural and Welcome Center. Cherokee Days at Bonita is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Hope you'll join us there. And then the Cherokee Art Market is going to be held at October 12th and 13th at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. And you're invited to join us as well for the awards reception the night before. So with that, I will open for any questions you may have.
All right, do you guys have any questions for Travis? Joe?
Travis, thank you. I missed the date that you said was going to be taking place at Anna Mitchell. Could you please repeat that?
Yep, so that is November, that's Troy Jackson, his exhibition, which will be November 22nd through August 3rd of 2025.
Thank you so much.
Counselor Deere?
Hey, Travis, you've seen around Tulsa the signage, like the Osage signs, creek signs. You know, we talked about this a couple months ago. Where are we at on the signage that you guys were going to work on for like Route 66 and the tribal signs around there?
We don't have a specific initiative with Route 66 sign. There are some with municipalities, but we can connect back with those parties and try to get an update for you.
Yeah, Ken was asking about it, and he was going to get with Molly, Ken Busby.
Okay, all right, we'll connect back with Ken.
And then on tribal signs, I don't know if we're going to do anything on Admiral. Just check on that when you get time.
Okay.
You can text me later. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, any more questions for Travis? Eo? Oh, Sasha.
Not really a question, but I did want to visit with you just briefly after the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Counselor Eo?
What we were visiting at for the meeting, can you kind of just tell what you're telling us about the Oklahoma City?
Oh, yes. So you all may be familiar, but we, and Vivian here will highlight some of the work that the National Treasures are doing a bit, I think, following me. But we had an exhibition at Saline Courthouse for Crosland Smith. It was in the works just actually before he passed away, and his family wanted to continue that effort, wanted to continue the exhibition. So that has just closed at Saline Courthouse. But we're able to do a banner exhibition that can rotate into some of the communities. So beginning next week, it will debut at the Marble City Community Building. And it will include a pot from his granddaughter that has his hands on the pot as well, and then some other items. But that will debut next week in the Marble City Community Building. So that'll be its first run out in the community as a banner display.
So y'all handle advertising and everything on that, so we're good?
We don't have any plans directly to advertise that yet, but I can check back with you on that.
Okay. I think a lot of people will enjoy that. Thank you.
All right, any more questions for Travis? No? Well, thank you, Travis, for all the work that you all do. I went to a couple of art market shows that you all hosted this past month or two, and I think they were great. They were fantastic, and I think me and a couple of other counselors bought some artwork there, so we appreciate the work you guys do over at Cultural Tourism.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right, next up on the agenda is Cherokee Nation Language Department, Howard Payton.
Siunagad, Hijoyaliji Sinagad, Luke Kosanali. I'm glad to be here. Walking in is getting a little chilly outside, and I like to do a little bit of jogging, and this summer has messed that up a little bit. It's too hot to be jogging around too much, and so I've just walking in, I felt, man, this is good jogging weather. And so I know the fall is going to be beautiful. I hope that the foliage is beautiful and the whooshy is heavy and big, right? And that would be a Cherokee dream right there. I'm going to have go through this a little bit. We're doing a lot of things in the language department, as you guys fully aware. In this reporting time, we've done more than 10,000 internal translations, more than 10,000 external translations. We've done a lot of things through technology. Anybody requiring about anything, we've given out more than 1,055 posters. We've assisted 197 times the little USB drives that everybody likes that has our cartoons and everything on it. We've given out over 600 of them. We've done a lot of material, around 500 materials in the classrooms and different things that we do in-house. I know a lot of folks don't realize, you can do a real short search and get curriculum and whatever you want in English, Spanish. If we do that, it's made internally. So if you see books printed, we're building them, and so it's not as easy as going to Dr. Google and printing out stuff. So we have to kind of be our Dr. Google. We have the Institute of Excellence and the Teacher Bridge. The Institute of Excellence is a program that we have worked in the past to take the youngest fluent Cherokee speakers that we have and put them with some of the older Cherokee speakers, and that for a portion of about 3 years. And so what that does is it allows some of our first language speakers that may be in their 40s or 50s to be with superior or distinguished language speakers for a period of 3 years. We're trying our best to, at this point, we know that the language will survive. The battle that we're having now is to what level will that be? Will it be the advanced mid? Will it be advanced high? Will it be superior? Will it be distinguished? And so we're trying our best to document as much as we can, record as much as we can, but some of that can happen, but there's still where you document and recording, but there's still a belief and a knowledge that we don't want to ever lose that there has to be some things that's passed from mouth to ear, and it should never, we document it so we can support that, but we don't want it to even be lost for just a moment, even if it's just with documentation. We want it to remain in the hearts of our people. So the Teacher Bridge is another program that we have that puts another 2 years on Master Apprentice, and it has folks that all the meta language, the various linguistic terms, that sort of thing, we have translated into Cherokee, so with language arts. So we don't want to sit and talk about our language linguistically in English. We want to do it in Cherokee. I mean, and so we're having to change that around. So with this particular program, it allows 2 more years to get advanced low speaker, second language learner, to maybe advanced mid, advanced high, which is a really high advancement in language revitalization, especially when you're talking about second language speakers. And it also teaches them classroom management. It teaches them various things as far as like the child development and them sort of things. We're merging them 2 programs together with the Teacher Bridge and Institute of Excellence, because there's one thing is that they was doing close to enough things together that they was working so much together anyways that we're putting the capacity together to be able to do that. We received a couple more grants, and one of them allows us to go in with Teacher Bridge and rotate some of the teachers that's already in our immersion school, second language speakers, that may be at advanced low levels, to recondition them back through Teacher Bridge or portions of Teacher Bridge to try to increase their proficiency. So these experts, I think it's going to be an amazing thing that keeps a higher standard of language for generations to come. I know I said a lot about that, and you guys are probably scratching your head thinking, well, I smell some food back here, so, but I'm really excited about it, as you hopefully can tell. We have a couple highlights of our dictionary and archival program. We're doing some adult immersion type classes, and it's being taught by the transitional program staff or translational program staff. We've successfully completed our summer semester on online classes. Our teacher training that's through NSU, we have 10 students in that's going to be certified in the Cherokee language, and we offered a couple new participants. One of them accepted, the other one had to back out to leave, had something else to take care of before they started school. But in comparison to this, a couple of them, not 2 or 3 years ago, now we have 10. It's amazing. The Master Apprentice program is doing great. We had a graduate ceremony that was done in August of 22. Is the highest proficiency that we've ever graduated in the Master Apprentice program. The advanced levels was amazing. I believe a few of you was there that day, and it wasn't just wading in the language. These guys was diving in the language and doing doing some really neat things in language, and they was able to demonstrate that in their graduation. So we was really excited about that. We accepted 8 new students in that, and we're very, very amazed by the progress in that program. We're continuing to edit previous translations, the books of the Bible. We're doing a lot of interviews for our radio station. I know you guys hear our radio station on Sundays, and we are emceeing 2 monthly speaker bureau meetings that's in Cherokee, and you guys have been involved in that. I know one of our counselors comes to that quite a bit, and or actually a couple of them comes to that quite a bit, and we're doing online classes to teach Cherokee marbles that's working out really, really well. There's something else that our language technology program is doing. We're doing a Cherokee speaker survey, and it's a pretty extensive survey. The last time we've had something this complete or even close to this complete was in 1962 by an anthropologist by the name of Warhathic. I think I mispronounced his name, but normally I would not, but since I'm in front of you guys, I'm going to mispronounce some. But that is something that will tell us information that we haven't known the levels of since in 60 years, and so that's something that we're working with. Cherokee the public health is helping us and different things with this, and it's going to be a good survey, and we should start having some community meetings about it. We've done we recorded and edited 9 translated Cherokee Phoenix articles. There's been a lot of things that's happened with the Cherokee Phoenix during that time because we have the all Cherokee paper around the holiday. We've doing some basket weaving classes. We had about 80 people that showed up to our classes. The translational program held a storytelling booth at Red Clay on August 9th. It's always good to be home and doing that. Of course, Speaker Services has helped with utilities of more than 30 different Cherokee speakers. They completed 35 projects. We have 48 projects that's active right now, and we have 25 that's upcoming, that's in the works. We've been, that particular program's been hosting community meetings at the new Marble City Community Center, and I think you guys seen that online, and it's been a real successful event. So if you have any questions, just please let me know, and I'll try my best to answer them.
All right, any questions for Howard? No.
Yeah, there is a plan. And that's going to be probably what I'm going to be focusing on the next month or so. Is early November is the plan, and the issue that we have is there's an election during that time, a national election, so we're trying to, before we start saying dates, make sure that we're doing that just right. But that's the plan that may be pushed back past GostiCon. I'm not for sure, but there is a plan that's coming up pretty quick, and yeah, I'm making we're making hoodies and shirts, and it's going to be nice. Oh, I'm amazed. I knew we was doing something different. One time the New York Times came in and interviewed a group of Cherokee speakers in the community, and I showed up there. They're just like, we want you here because the New York Times, and we're just kind of afraid. And so I showed up thinking, okay, it's going to be interesting. And they all came out with the shirts and the different things that we gave them as speakers. And to me, that told me that was the thing that they was proud to wear. I didn't realize some of the giveaways and stuff that we did for that population, how proud they are to wear that says, I'm a Cherokee speaker. And so about everything that they had on, as far as shirts and caps or whatever it was from our department that was identifying them as Cherokee speakers. So they love it, and we want to have hoodies and that sort of things as well. So.
All right, any more questions? Councilor Hall.
Thank you. I've had the same in my district. I've had several speakers ask. They've really enjoyed the same. They were wanting to know if we were going to have another one too. I noticed that, I think it was at the Greasy, they had a books, you had David Crawley had the book at Greasy Community, what was it, yesterday? Would we be able to have that at our community meetings? I'm going to have one at Dry Creek in December. Would we be able to have someone from your department there with a book, just in case we could get some speakers there that maybe need to sign the book also.
And so, we had that Monday, and it was a good event. David Crawler's there. What I like about David is when we came up with that speaker role, there was some that kind of was apprehensive for a little while, because, this is the same population that's been taken advantage of quite a bit in their lives. And so, we've got a lot of folks that signed it, but there's still a few that don't. With all the resources that we've put in, I think we put in the last 28 months, $26 million the language department has, I believe, and their homes and different things. Now we have a situation where we have folks that are coming up claiming to be speakers when they're not, and that was not what used to be. There was almost a fear of letting anybody know that you spoke, which is a good thing, but we try to manage that. And I think it makes David a little nervous from time to time, rightfully so, because he wants to not have too much conflict. But we was able to work through that. You was their counselor, and it seemed like everybody was jovial and enjoyed one another. But I'll get with him and kind of talk to him and see where his mind's at. I know that I know yesterday a speaker came up and signed it. When I left a while ago, a speaker was there signing it. So it's open at Durbin anytime to sign. There is, the further we get away from Telequal, the harder it is for somebody to come back and forth. But I'll talk with him and see what his schedule looks like. So.
All right, and I was just going to compliment that.
Go.
What? Go ahead.
I had an excited elder ask me about when they start writing the language. They start out early on that, don't they?
With our kiddos?
Mhm.
Yeah, our classes start at 6 weeks old, and they, I was in baby immersion for a little while this morning, by the way, and it is amazing to watch 1 and 2 year olds talk Cherokee, but just whenever they start coloring or whatever, we start identifying characters for them at sometimes 2 years old, somewhere in there. Of course, 3 years old, it gets more hype, and 4 years old, and 5 years old, they're writing just like how you would imagine. Whenever they can hold a pencil, just like you can imagine your kids or grandkids, when they write in English, is when our kids are writing in Cherokee now.
All right, is there any more questions for Howard? I was just going to compliment that event at Greasy. I thought it went really well, and a lot of the speakers that came were ones that were either out of town or didn't have transportation to the previous book signings that y'all have had in the past.
Yeah.
So I was not expecting like a huge mass of people at the door. It
Yeah.
was just convenient for some that didn't
was
have means
nice.
of transportation.
Yeah.
I want to say, was it close to like 15?
I believe so, that came through, and some of it is, and if you notice, some speakers just stop by because they knew
Yeah,
we
they
was
just wanna
around, they
talk.
want to talk, and
But like 15 signatures,
Yeah.
like new ones, that's
Yeah.
I think that's a
Pretty
pretty
good
big
bump,
deal
yeah.
for,
Yeah.
for the book. And kind of building on that, do you have any plans maybe down the road with language classes in the communities or future language classes that they kind of hold at different community buildings?
we have them open. We're wanting to start in October. There's a 10-week course. We generally have 10 to 15 throughout the reservation.
Okay.
I know that at large, we're having one in Little Rock, Arkansas this weekend, so, I mean, there's a lot of cool little things that's coming through.
And I had maybe a couple more questions on speaker services. Could you describe for me that applications process, like when a speaker comes to you guys needing assistance?
So that's been revamped a little bit
Okay.
because when we first started that, we wanted them not to be tied down with agency time and them not to be tied down with writing. What happens is everybody that talks back and forth. If somebody calls me and talks to them, and then they call somebody else, talks to them, they call a council member, talks to them, and then worker comes out there and assesses it, and then another contractor comes out that has nothing to do with, everybody they talk to is becoming confusing on what they were supposed to do. And so I get a phone call that said, so-and-so promised me new whatever. And then I virtually don't know if it was one of our staff members or if it was a contractor or if it was one of the contractor's helpers that's never been around Cherokee speaker in their life. And so we're in the process of redoing that to be able to show a scope of work that everybody is agreed with, and that to be more about emergencies. Now there's rehabs and that sort of thing, but some folks, they enjoy us. They're bored to a certain degree. There's some they're about to fall through their floor still yet, and there's some that would like their ceiling painted a little different color, or their kitchen painted a little different color, and we painted it 6 months ago, right? And we're working through that with as much wisdom as I know how. So we have that application, but it's in the process of being revamped too. So I'd be more than glad to visit and have any input you have. I know my dad would say he was trying to use the wisdom of Solomon because, well, you've seen it, Counselor. I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I think maybe when you guys kind of nail down what your system there, could you maybe share
Educate.
that with us counselors that do get a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of those questions? So I would appreciate that.
I never dreamed that some of the council members in here I'd have such of a relationship. Now, I grew up a VO. We called him Junior, and Ia, of course, we've all done stomp and that sort of thing. But it's amazing that how many times a week I'm on the phone with various council members from this body, and so it's always a pleasure, and I hope that you guys enjoy me as much as I enjoy you guys, and give me grace, because there's days that I'm calling a staff member and it's a Saturday and they forget to call, or they don't answer the phone, or they don't read the text, and so I know that we're all here to try to help our people, and I appreciate you guys.
Well, great, thank you. And I have one last question. I'm sorry, I keep holding
No,
you.
you're good. You're good.
How many replacement trailer homes have y'all done year to date so far?
Year to date, boy,
I know.
that's a good question.
Because I didn't know if that was listed in completed projects where it says 35. I didn't
Yeah.
know if that would be listed in that
I
information.
know we have
I was just curious.
we have foundations that we're working on, and I believe is it 29 that we're working on right now? That's so that's a good question.
Okay.
I'll have to give you that
Okay.
with a 1-800 Sammy Eagle phone call after the.
Boy, tell him I'm calling.
He was able to get out of town for a few days. And
Boy, he's a good one.
Man, I'm glad that he's able to have a little bit of rest. So
Okay, is there any more questions for Howard?
Hi, Howard. If you don't mind, I'd like to speak with you for just a few minutes after the meeting, if we could.
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Any more questions for Howard before I turn him loose? All right, thank you, Howard.
Well done. Enjoy your legacy.
All right, next up on the report is Community and Cultural Outreach, Ms. Savannah Smith.
CO, Chair, and Council, thanks for having me here today. I believe you guys have my report, and I'll take any questions at this time.
All right, any questions for Savannah? You have a question, you? Okay. I have one. I'm pretty sure I probably have already asked you this, but is the Cherokee Cemeteries Restoration Group under you guys?
Yes, it is.
Okay, okay. Can you provide maybe a phone number to that, like, maybe off camera or something to us counselors?
for the organization.
For people that reach out to us, yes.
Yeah, I can do
All
that.
right. Any more questions for Savannah? All right, y'all are doing great work, and
All right,
I'm pretty
appreciate it.
proud of Godoogie Corps. I get nothing but compliments out
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
Stillwell, they're
He's a
doing
pretty
great.
good driver. I had him drive me over here today.
All right, well, thank y'all.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, and last but not least on our reports is Cherokee National Treasure Advisory Committee with Jane Ostie, or Vivian Cottrell in her place.
And, okay. Vivian Cottrell, National Treasure in Basketry, and I'm here to report on the National Treasure Advisory Committee. And you have my report. No, we're just going to go over a few things. Do you have any questions before I start?
Any questions for Vivian? No? All right, the floor is yours.
All right. Like Travis mentioned, at the Saline Courthouse, we have Mr. Asui in sculpture, and his exhibit is Tending the Flame. It's going to be September 17th through the 11th, January 11th of 2025. I do want to say that I appreciate the council and CNB for the opportunities that they're giving the National Treasures, for their continued exposure of our culture to the general public too. And I've had many comments on the Saline Courthouse exhibit, all good, and I just wanted to let y'all know that. It's greatly appreciated. This year we had 3 national treasures that were honored during the Cherokee National Holiday. Mr. Roy Boney in painting. We had Mr. Daryl Littledeer in textiles and tear dresses, and Miss Louisa Soap in basketry. And they also were confirmed during the honors and awards banquet on August 29th. The Cherokee National Treasure Student Art Show was held on Saturday, August 31st, in conjunction with the Cherokee Artisan Marketplace. There were 3 National Treasures mentors who were Troy Jackson, Bessie Russell, and Lena Stick. They had they completed their mentorship, and we are going to begin signing up in October, next week. For new, I've spoken with other national treasures who would be interested, and next year, so we should have a few more. And they're doing a great job, especially the Miss Russell and the elder treasures on the art show. The mentors there had suggested moving the art show from the holiday up into July, because their students are entering artwork in the art shows, and they don't have many things to show during that time. So we have moved it up to July and for next year, but we're also considering trying to find an indoor event space for the elders too. Let's see, there on the Anna Mitchell Cultural Center in Veneta, There's a basketry exhibit, Woven Legacies, carrying a Cherokee tradition. And there were many, if you haven't had a chance, you need to go see that. It's near and dear to my heart. I had not only mine, my mother's, but we also have a collection of the older weavers that are no longer here that is also included in that exhibit. The Kathy Abercrombie was awarded first place in the Santa Fe Indian Market in August. And that's a great accomplishment. It is the largest Native American art market in the nation. And it's just a great accomplishment to place in that show. My husband and I volunteer, and it's needed. There are 1,200 artists that come through. Anyway, let's see. They say 12 national treasures will be at the Cherokee Art Market on October 12th through 13th, and that includes Tracy Rabbit, Troy Jackson, Jane Austen, Lisa Rutherford, Demas and Bill Glass, Kathy Abercrombie, Eddie Morrison, Verl Keeter, Richard Fields, Michael Dart, and Tommy Wildcat. And that's a great representation of the national treasures in that show. There are several more Cherokee artists that have been accepted, and I'm looking forward to attend that. Eddie Morrison was commissioned by a neighborhood in St. Louis, and it was for 3 stone sculptures in a residential area. And we meet on the 3rd Thursday every month at 4:30 at the Cherokee National Cultural Tourism Office. There have been other upcoming considerations too that for discussion. The meeting time to change. It's currently at 4:30. We're going to discuss a time change for that, just to make it a little easier for others to physically attend. And also, let's see, we have, the National Treasures have annual Christmas banquet. It's usually either the first or second Thursday in December. So we would like to invite the council members and those to attend if you're able, and we would be able to give you that information later when it's decided. And it's usually at the Chota Event Center. Okay. Now, do you have any questions for me?
Any questions for Vivian? All right. Well, thank you, Miss Vivian. You got off
Sure.
easy today.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Old business, none pending. New business, none pending. Is there any announcements? No. Okay. Looks like we have no announcements. I need a motion and a second for adjournment of the cultural meeting today. All right. And that concludes our culture meeting.